And welcome again. A few thoughts on Dade battle reenactment. Wear my Oklahoma Sooners shirt. Virtual background behind me is a previous reenactment from about 20 years ago, which I knew that from seeing Ray Jerome portraying one of the officers. He passed away a few years ago, very knowledgeable person. Very sad of his loss. So we know this photograph's about 20 years ago. I don't bring a camera with me when I'm doing living history, or if I have one, a cell phone in my pouch. I just don't take a lot of photos uh, unless I'm a spectator. So anyway, Dade Battle Reenactment 2022 on New Year's Day went very well. It was great seeing everyone. Had birthday parties for Jane and Heather. Uh, so that was good. Catching up with everybody who we hadn't seen in 2 years. It was great seeing Jim Farley, his sutler tent. He had old photo albums of previous reenactments. Had me in some of the photos from the 1990s when I was younger and thinner and prettier there, which I hadn't gotten that on a account. Uh, so it's great seeing them. Park manager Bill said he had no complaints from the visitors. Um, Amazing job that the volunteers did organizing the reenactment, especially for Ross and Amber doing double, triple, quadruple the duties. Amber was amazing, arranging the food and the registration and everything that she did. And then on Saturday night, we had our candlelight ceremony at the breastwork where we remember those who have passed. A few people that I knew that were real inspiration to me was John Griffin, who actually passed away in 2019. He portrayed Abraham at times. I really miss him. He is great to talk with. He's at one time a city manager at Groveland. And also somebody who passed away last year, Red Wolf or Butch Hunt. He was a park ranger at Paynes Prairie, and he was kind of my mentor on the first event that I came to in outfit and helped coach me and help me out. And we really miss him. He was actually probably one of the first Seminole reenactors, and you could see him on the Paynes Creek State Park film there. I don't know if they ever updated that one. And then in the reenactment, it's great seeing HL as Louis Pacheco and Matt as, I guess, Abraham on the horse. A lot of new guys. Um, some new guys as Seminole and some new guys as soldiers, looking real sharp on their outfit and their portrayal, which is very important because we are honoring and remembering the people that were here almost 200 years ago who died here at Dade Battlefield. So we have to be respectful of their memory, and we're not playing cowboys and Indians. We're very serious. Also very serious on the safety. There is one individual who showed up Friday night who, from his behavior, it's like we don't want this guy out on the field because we don't trust him with black powder. He did things and said things that offended some people, and he was asked to leave. And that's just to show you how serious we are. If somebody shows up and not representing the park very well, or not representing the people they're trying to remember, they're not going out there on the field with us. That's all there is to it. And the Park Service has a very strong safety program going. In fact, this is my binder from when I worked at the Park Service. From the first training I did back in 2004. at Fort Cooper. Then in 2007, we started working on what became the modern and historic weapons firing safety training. We met for a weekend at Fort Clinch, slept in the barracks in the old fort. Everybody see what life was like in the Florida coastal fort, where it's cold and foggy at night, which was nothing new to me because I worked at Fort Morgan in Mobile Bay for 2 years. I'm used to those old brick forts. And then took us about 2 years to really nail down and get the specifics for the firing program, the safety program. Steve Kramer and myself, about 2009 or 2010, were the only two safety supervisors at Dade Battle Reenactment, but we got it done. More people have been trained since then. And I'm not a safety supervisor anymore because I'm no longer with the Park Service. But one of our reenactors, Louis, he now works at Hillsborough River, and he's doing the safety training through that. So, this is something we are very familiar with, and we just get serious. And I've done this nearly 40 years. In fact, 40 years ago, I bought my first book on the history of the Second Seminole War, Dr. John Mann's book, and now I have about 300 books on the Second Seminole War. Don't think I'll be around 40 more years because I'll be about 100 years old in about 40 years. Not planning to stick around that long, but hopefully I'll have something to leave behind for those people who want to continue on and do further research. The neatest thing to me is seeing the people who are in this bringing their children and grandchildren along. We're not young guys anymore, except there's a few that are. It's what I find really neat is that you have people in the audience who are descendants of the casualties from this battlefield. Either sometimes you have somebody who's actually descended from one of the soldiers who died here, or somebody who's one of the Seminole tribal members who's descended from the Seminoles who fought here, which is really neat. Puts in my mind what we're here for is to remember the sacrifice that their ancestors went through and the terrible thing that happened, that both sides, the sacrifice that they did to remember them. So anyway, I hope if you came to Dade Battlefield, you enjoyed it. It was just great seeing everyone, remembering everyone present and past, and hopefully we can do this again.